So, now, has everybody got a handout? Does everybody have a pen or a pencil? If you don't have a pen or a pencil, raise your hand and we'll get you one. And you can see where I've spoken at recently. I was just at a Sheraton Inn. All right? So raise your hand and we'll get you a pen or a pencil. Get your handouts out. We need more? Do we have enough? And those of you who have a pen or a pencil and a handout, I want you to turn to this page. Since I only have about a few minutes up here, I'm supposed to shut up at 10 till 10. So that'll be my goal. I've got 21 minutes with you. So right here, I want you to turn to this page. It's the first inside page, and I want you to write 2 words right underneath your work, your family, and yourself. Ready? Here are the 2 words. My, that would be M-Y. I went to night school. I don't spell too good when it's daylight out. Choices. C-H-O-I-C-E-S. You can write, did you get it? My choices. All right. Because I'm going to challenge, what dear? Oh, because I'm going to challenge you when I get finished here at 10 till 10, that I want you to go back to this page and I want you to put something in there. Because my value here today as a presenter is your value is whatever you do. And it's literally our value as parents. And it's simply this. It's what do you, my audience, feel, think, be, do, have, and give tomorrow and the next day and the next day, whether I'm any good at what I do, right? Do you implement any of the ideas I give you here? Because if you don't, I'm not good at what I do. You, as whatever you do, whether you're with long-term care or whether you're with a facility, when somebody leaves you or when they hang up the phone, what do they feel, think, be, do, have, and give based on the information you shared with them, right? As a parent, I encourage my children to misbehave when I'm around and behave when I'm not around. Now, it drives my wife crazy, but she's happy I'm gone a lot. So that's going to be the concept. Fair enough? Cool. Name of the program is Humor. Your key to enjoying your work, your family, and yourself. Making stress your friend. What do you think? You like that? Huh? Okay, cool. Okay, let me ask you here today. How many of you here today would love to have more fun at work? Cool. I'm going to give you specific ideas so you can have more fun at work.
I have too much fun.
Well, you don't need any more? That's fine. That's good. Number 2, how many of you here today would like to have more fun with your families? Right on. Because remember, many people can love you, but only a few people can live with you. And would you marry you?
Yes. Yes.
Me too. I'd marry me in a heartbeat. And then there's some people go, I think I got to get a divorce for myself. By the way, I love books. I believe if you're not reading books, if you're not putting good things in your head, whoever is reading books, whoever is putting good things in your head is going to eat your lunch in the marketplace. The difference you'll be today, the difference you'll be 5 years from now, the things you put in your head, the people you hang around. That's why this group is so important. If you're involved in Miami-Dade County and you want to be involved in this concept of this aging population, you need to be a member of this group, flat out. Because they support each other, they care for each other, they help each other. I think books are cool. Bible, pretty good book to read from time to time. Whether you just read the first half or the whole one, I don't care. Here's a good book. It's called The Secrets of Life by Stuart Wilde. One of the things I like about family life is that you can complain and argue with people you know, all in the comfort of your own home. Okay, who here this morning has a fear of raising your hand? Can I see that people have a fear? Okay. And how many of you here today would like to have more fun with yourself? Yeah. Now. And maybe one of the messages you can take out of this meeting is to lighten up on you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in unprecedented times. We have never had the challenges that we have out in front of us. So I'm going to give one suggestion that lighten up on you. Fair enough? Cool. Well, I've already through my behavior, I've already shown you what your sense of humor is all about. And it's not telling jokes. Who thinks you're good at telling jokes? She does, and I'm sure Michael does. You know, there was a study, and they said about 2% of the American population thinks they're good at telling jokes. The problem is the other 98% doesn't necessarily agree with them. But would you like at least one joke here today? Sure. All right. Every morning, I can't get, because of time, I'm not going with you. Every morning, the abbot would bring all of his monks together, and he would look out among his monks, And he would begin the day with, "Good morning." And all the monks would respond, "Good morning." Very good. Then at the end of the day, he would bring all of his monks together, and he would look out among his monks, and he would end the day with, "Good evening." And all the monks would respond, "Good evening." Cool. Did you notice how much better you were the second time than you were the first? Woody Hayes said you make your best improvement between your first and second game. And I would bless you. And I run into too many people on this planet that spend too much time getting ready to get ready. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, you going to start eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? Yeah, I'm going to, but I'm getting ready. Are you going to start exercising 3 times a week to get your heart to a targeted rate to basic cardiovascular fitness? Oh, I'm going to, but I'm getting ready. Are you going to implementing the greatest weight release secret in the history of mankind? I possess the greatest weight release secret in the history of mankind. Would you like to know what that is? By the way, did you notice I didn't say weight loss? Why? Because your brain is subconsciously programmed to go find what you lose. So when you say, "I'm going to lose this weight," your subconscious mind goes, "We better go find that weight." So you want to release that weight, never to be seen from again. I possess the greatest weight release secret in the history of mankind. Ready? Eat half of whatever you're eating right now. Thank you very much. Have half a bowl of ice cream instead of a whole bowl. Have a junior bacon cheeseburger instead of a big bacon cheeseburgers. Have 2 beers instead of, well, let's not get crazy. When you go to out to eat, especially if you go to the Cheesecake Factory, tell them to put half your meal into the go-kart before they bring it to you. Oh, I'm going to, but I'm getting ready. Well, one morning, the rebel monk. How many rebels do we have here today? I know we got a few. I see a lot of you. My favorite George Bernard Shaw quote is, "Reasonable people adapt themselves to their environment. Unreasonable people adapt the environment to themselves. Therefore, all progress is due to unreasonable people." Or as the eagle said, "Take it to the limit one more time." Well, the rebel monk said, "I'm going to get him." So the abbot stood up and went, "Good morning." And the rebel monk responded instantaneously with, "Good evening." The abbot was shocked. He took a step back and he went, "Some monk chanted evening." Now look, all the older people went, all the younger people went, Never saw South Pacific, did you? See, for humor to be relevant, you've got to have a point of reference. Well, let me share you where we got our greatest definition for your sense of humor was from my son's kindergarten teacher. Chad was in kindergarten, and yes, I have a Chad. He's not a hanging Chad. He's not a dimpled Chad. He's not a ripped Chad. He's not a pregnant Chad. He's Baghdad Chad. He's done 2 tours of Iraq, and he was a drill sergeant for 2 years, trained 1,100 military police in 2 years. I think it's kind of ironic that the humor consultants created a drill sergeant. Well, Chad was in kindergarten. They were talking about your 5 senses. So Chad raised his hand. He said, "What about your 6th sense?" And the teacher said, "Your 6th sense?" And Chad said, "Yeah, your ability to read other people's minds." In the parent-teacher conference, I went, "Yes!" A tear formed in my eye. I turned to my wife, who's so straight, the straight people don't hang out with her. I said, "He can't clean his room, but he's got this one right." By the way, here's another great book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Who knows Think and Grow Rich? It was written in 1936, and there's a whole chapter in this book called Your 6th Sense. But she was a great teacher. She said, "Chad, what about your 7th sense?" Chad said, "Your 7th sense." And the teacher said, "Yeah, your sense of humor." So if you can believe that your sense of humor is your sense of perspective, then can't we believe it's the combination, it's the distillation, it's a result of all the information that we process through our other 6 senses. So literally, your sense of humor ends up being your attitude. And don't we see people with attitudes? To quote my great late friend, E. Larry Moles from Lima, Ohio, he said, "I see people walking around looking like they were weaned on a pickle." They got these attitudes. Well, where do you get your attitudes? Psychiatrists tell us between birth and 13. And for many of us, that wasn't a pleasant experience. Bradshaw said 98% of the families out there are dysfunctional. I disagree, 100%. Any perfect childhoods here today? Y'all got a story, don't you? Everybody's got a story. But you can always change your attitude. You can always change your perspective. You can always take something that was painful and was hurtful and look at it in a different way. Wayne Dyer tells us when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Where did I get my perspective? Well, first of all, I didn't become Italian until I was 20 days old. I was adopted. That's when I became Italian. That's when I made my first sale. Was it 20 days? It was all eye contact and body language. Although my dear Sicilian mother says, I picked the one next to you and they gave me the wrong baby. I had somebody come up to me a long time ago and say, Sorentino, I know somebody who made a sale before they were 20 days. I said, no way. He said, yes way. I said, what is it? He said, he married the nurse that delivered him. That's a little creepy if you ask me. My first thought was, wow, talk about love at first sight. I get a call about 15 years ago. Is this Phil Sorentino? Yes. Were you born on August 1st, 1951? Yes. We're with Reunite. We put adopted families together. You have a sister that wants to talk to you. Are you interested? I said, well, Cheers is starting. Can I call you back? I found I'm one of 7 kids on my biological mother's side. I'm her third by the time she was 18 by 3 different guys. Mother. Well, now I know where to get my sex drive. I get my biological mom on the phone for the first time in my life. I said, Mom, I've always teased I was conceived in the back seat of a Buick. She goes, I really don't remember what kind of car it was. She said, but it was the back seat. At the age of 2, my adopted sister died. At the age of 6, my adopted father died 3 days after Christmas. At the age of 9, my adopted mother got into alcohol and suicide. Like, I have no abandonment issues. I'm ADD and dyslexic, so the nuns and I got along swimmingly well. I had a nun in the 4th grade whacking me in the back of the head with a music book. I turned around, she said, that's for everything I've never caught you doing. I turned around and said, well, you better hit me again. Whack, she hit me a second time. I started to work when I was 11. I cleaned toilets for 80 cents an hour when I was 14 years old. And I was 5'1" when I graduated from high school. I went out for football, but they already had one. But the past is the past is the past. There comes a time in every one of our lives where we have to say to ourselves, I'm going to stop letting my past ruin my future and rob me of my present. Wherever you are in life, somebody's had it worse and made it, and somebody's had it better and blown it. So it's your choice. Happiness, it's your choice. Better relationship, it's your choice. Now, you know.